Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. That's good. That's all right. Thank you. Obviously, thank you very much. A lot of things, and Bo said it best, and I always get in a damn position and following Schimbeckler. You know, it's just like the time when we first came to Michigan. I got to tell the story. I get a ride with Bo. I'm the rookie. I'm the youngest guy on the staff, so we're coming up from Miami. We get to Bowling Green. It starts to snow. He threw my ass in the back and said, "Hey, I'm driving from here." Okay, this is how we came into Ann Arbor. But I've been following a lot. Okay, but yet a very good friend, and obviously just a thrill for me to be back here tonight and meet the men of Michigan. You know, Harbaugh said it, Diggs said it, there's been so many comments about what all this is about. In the last 9 years, I've been with a few pro teams, and by the way, if anybody wants to know where I'm unemployed, okay, next year I'm going to sit back and look at a couple things. But at the same time, I grow every day, and I think it hit me as much this year as it ever has, okay? And you play, and I don't want you to give you the wrong impression about professional football players that don't play, because they can play their butts off, as the guys in here that play know. And you understand that any week, anybody can beat anybody else, okay? That's very, very important. But the thing that we're all fortunate, as we look back, and Harbaugh said it about family and different things, but what we're very, very fortunate is, it started in 01, 02, 03, and 04. I guess 4 national championships way back there. But we know how to win. And you know how to win, and you win on the field, men. And believe me, there's lessons to be learned. You learn off the field. He talked about family and all that. You learn how to win, okay? You learn how to win. And that isn't true with some people. I was in a position that in 23 years we won, can't believe it, 14 championships, I believe. We're at a clip right around those there of 60% of the time we're winning a championship. That's the difference between some other guys and other teams and other coaches and some great pros that I've met. They don't know how to win. Because why? They have not been exposed to it. And you know the senior leadership that we've preached so often? And I believe in those who stay will be champions very, very much. But Bo had another slogan, and I always used it, the team, the team, the team. It isn't about individuals, but how do I win and how do I lead? And there's so many things missing in that respect of other players. And not that they won't play hard, they just don't know how to do it. And that's why you're a part of your environment, and we're surrounded by those kind of people. And everyone had a place. Everyone had their job. The administration, the support people, the doctors, the trainers, everybody, the managers had a job that had to get done. And as you know, particularly when Bo was here, he rode herd and tough herd on all of those people. And yet we got MVPs of Super Bowls. We got NFL stars. We got Heisman Trophy winners and all. But it still goes back to the teams. The guys who were on the first team, the second team, the backup guys. How about the backup guys that we had, and they had to be the leaders because they were so important. Agassi coming out with baseball hats for our scout team players. The Fools, Fraternal Order of Offensive Looks, he used to call them. But everybody had a place, and I think that was so important. Remember, it's the character in the end, guys, that we all live with. It's the thing that Bo looks back to and talks about, and everybody else does, and that's what happens when you get a little bit old. I don't want to mention a lot of names, but I'm going to throw out a couple because it's too hard to remember all of you and the things that you remember, but there's certain things. But the money is one thing, the character and the values of the whole thing, when you get down there and you can't spend the damn money anymore, is the thing that, to me, that you take away from here and being a winner. Dr. O'Connor. Just think of the people and the quality of some of the people that have gone. Representing the 1971 team or the early teams. And one of the first guys I coached, other than Cecil Pryor, as soon as I got his butt squared away, then I went on to the next. But Butch Carpenter. And you remember Butch, and he's early 70s. Middle 70s, guy like Dan Jellick and what he brought to all of us. Late 80s, John Vitale. And what do they leave with you guys? Those are important things, and I know I've left some people out, but those are the important things, and that's the thing I think that's missing. That's why some pro teams, believe me, can't win. They can't win because they don't have the leadership. I used to tell Bo this all the time. He said, Bo, how do you know that? I said, I just know when you're around that you can see it. That's why I always said, and a lot of you guys would laugh and say, well, Bo could never coach a pro ball because he's too tough. Yeah, he could do that in a heartbeat. There wouldn't be, because he knows how to lead people and he knows how to communicate with them. And that's what coaching's all about. And that's why he said, if you have guys like yourself that listen, in the same way in your employment today and what you're doing today, if you have those people who listen and you'll work hard and take those values, you're going to make it. You're going to make it. And I think that's what Michigan today means more to me, the team attitude, but at least you have been taught. Now, whether you do it or not is your own damn fault if you don't. You have been taught to know how to win and what it takes and what's the discipline, and that's why the team is the most important thing. I'd like to make just a couple thank yous for a couple things and bump this started with you, and George Huey was alluding to it, and Bo did several times. That 68 team that we took over when we came up here. But I'm going to tell you guys, you haven't lived until you lived through the 1969 season. And you guys that were on that team in a lot of ways, that 69 year, and I know there's a lot of beautiful things. That week of preparation, as Bo and I were talking this morning, he says, shit, Mo, we didn't get a practice. No, I know it. The weather was so bad. We're out there shoveling the coaches too. Ice off the practice. But it didn't make any difference because we had a resolve that we wanted to win the game. The night before the game, as he said, we're carrying blankets or whatever. Well, I don't think we went that damn far, did we, to the players? The electricity was out in the hotel. It was colder than hell. And yet one of the greatest victories of all times was that time that we beat Ohio State in 69. And Woody always give Bo hell after that, as he reminded me today. And another thing is the 76 team. I'll never forget when we shut Ohio State out down there, and some of you guys are here. The 82 Rose Bowl team, when we went out there and Butch ran crazy. But we had a lot of, I'm not supposed to mention names. I didn't want to do that. But we had a lot of great people. And then I'm especially thankful for the guys that I coached for 5 years and was a head coach. And as it was in that tape, but probably the most beautiful memory there is when you go back. And this, again, is what Michigan's all about. In 1992, after getting our butts kicked by the University of Washington, and they had a great football team, we come back and went right back the next year and beat them in a very exciting game right at the end. And what it's all about, and when you know it's over, in the dark end, out there in the Rose Bowl, right in front of the Michigan crowd, when all of our players got to go down there and sing the greatest fight song of them all. It was a super, super feeling, and what a hell of a day. Just a hell of a day. Thanks to Bo, obviously. He's not only a great mentor to me, but he coached me when I played in college. He's more of a friend now, but as we know, they just don't come any better than that. There's no way. Leone, thanks a lot. You've done a hell of a job. Jamie, good job. Again, the most of the thanks goes to you guys. Because you are the men of Michigan. We're just a small part of that because, as we've said many times, it's a team, it's a team, the team. And God bless all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Gary.